Danielle Pereira with Open Lands in Chicago, and we are here to give you a refresher on where Green Communities Leadership Institute is. And I'd like to also introduce Lance Davisson. Please take it away.
Thank you, Daniela. Lance Davisson, I'm in Boise, Idaho with the Keystone Concept, also on the core leadership team with Daniela. And thanks for having us back to tell you a little bit about the Institute, where it's come since last year. I believe when we let you know about the Institute, we're just getting started. So lots of great things to share with you. And welcome to SUFC's annual conference. And I'm going to kick it over to Meg Morgan. Meg is in Nashville, Tennessee, and she is one of our cohort members that is also leading our communications and outreach.
Yes, so thank you, Lance. Thank you, Daniela. As Lance mentioned, I'm Meg Morgan here in Nashville, Tennessee. I am a member of the Green Communities Leadership Institute, and I am helping out with the communications and the outreach for the Institute, in addition to being a cohort member. And I'm going to be the interviewer for today's updates. So we'll get right into this. So can you remind everybody, what is the Green Communities Leadership Institute and why was this started in the first place? Do you want to take that first, Lance?
Definitely. So the Green Communities Leadership Institute was started amidst COVID over almost 2 years ago now. And we had 12 core leadership team members come together and recognize a need and an opportunity to grow next level leaders. So the people that are in this institute, we have over 25 people from over 20 different states, and they're currently leaders in the industry. They have a lot of experience, anywhere from a handful of years to several decades of experience, and they are advancing their leadership skills to better address diversity, equity, and inclusion, to better be able to handle the stresses of leadership amidst a pandemic, amidst a lot of social strife. And that is the platform that we created in this journey that we've all been a part of now for been 2+ months that we've been going with the Institute to date. Do you have anything to add, Daniela?
I would just add that we really focus on leadership in 3 main areas: leadership of yourself, leadership of the organization that you represent, and leadership within the community. And it's been really nice because there are strengths amongst the cohort members and amongst the different speakers and teachers that we bring into the workshops to help us understand those different parts about leadership. It is not just one thing. It is really how we understand leadership ourselves, but also how we find leadership already existing in communities and really help to highlight and provide platforms or encourage more leadership there.
Great. This institute is different than other, development programs. Could y'all talk a little bit about what makes GCLI different? And then also, as part of that, the core leadership team planning process to get this off the ground in the first place. Would you like to start, Daniela?
Sure. What makes this different is that all of us who are part of the core leadership team right now are all volunteering our time. We all come from different parts of the country. We all have very different skill sets, and we pull this all together to provide space for all these other leaders who have been trying their hardest to get communities, to get their organizations to really think about climate change, resilience, and how to create a better and more sustainable world, connected with each other and connected to best practices. And one of the things that the core leadership team has done since we talked to you all last year at SUFC was that we put together curriculum, and we had a group that we pulled to actually assess the curriculum and give us a lot of feedback on what we could tweak, what we could change, what was missing. Alongside with that, we are working with a professor from DePaul University, Dr. Jess Vogt, who is looking at assessing the course, not only over this first year, but over the next few years, not only looking at the curriculum that we're adding in there, but the networks that we are creating through this program. The hope is that after this year, we will be able to pull in some of those people who participated as our cohort members to become part of that core leadership team, and take it from there, so that there is mentorship, there is coaching, and that it is not just a stagnant group of people who are leading this. We will definitely keep members on who have been part of this now for the last 18 months, but there will be switches in and out, which makes it very vibrant and different every time it'll occur on an annual basis.
Lance, anything you'd want to add to that?
No, I think that was great. A few things, I don't know if we mentioned at the beginning, there's 3 parts to our curriculum. The first part was kind of learn at your own leisure. Every week, you would have a few presentations to watch. There's a lot of interchange. Oregon State University and Paul Reese are hosting through an online forum. And then every Friday, we would have touch bases and kind of rapid chats, we call it. Right now, currently this week, we're in the middle of webinar week. So every day of the week, we have an hour-and-a-half session live with our presenters and conversations. And then in the middle of March, we'll all be together at Oregon State University in Corvallis, Oregon for our final in-person session. So everybody participates in all those. And the other thing that I would say is, to Daniela's point, this is very different from any leadership institute I've been involved in. We are very active and engaged as the core leadership team. We are just as much a student and cohort member as the cohort members. We're always evolving and adapting, improving our communication. So it's been a fun transformational experience for, I think, the cohort members and for the core leadership team as well. So it's fun, it's dynamic. We're challenging each other with very difficult conversations. I think it's been enlightening for everybody.
What's something that is going well so far? It's up and running. It's in implementation phase right now. It's webinar week, as Lance mentioned. And what's something that surprised you along the way? Either one.
That's a good question. Maybe I'll go first. I think what I love about it is how engaged people are, how much we're challenging each other and having those difficult conversations. The only way that we're going to become better leaders is entering those tough conversations into the room and creating a real culture of people that I think that we will all continue to have relationships beyond. Come middle of March, this is just the beginning of the journey for these 35 people, I believe. Some things that I think we could improve on next year. One is I think we should launch a fundraising platform. It has been wonderful, all the dedicated volunteer time that our core leadership team has put in, but it's not sustainable. So I think that is one of the things. It has worked out super well in that vein to have Meg come on as a cohort member and also be interested in helping us and volunteering her time. So it just shows you what that added perspective brings, the value to our team. So I think we need some funding to make that happen long term. But those would be my 2 things. How about you, Daniela?
I have been surprised at different speakers who have been coming in, and for example, today, somebody who is not in the green community, came in and already texted me like, oh, I know this gentleman from the East Coast, and I know this other person, that leadership is something across the board, that it's not just bringing in green people. And I would even say that some of the cohort members that we have aren't necessarily foresters or people who have been into the sciences. Some of them are organizers, community organizers, working under the green auspices or with community development. So it's been really nice to have those perspectives and thoughts. We've also had a Slack channel where people could give us feedback right away of like what's not working, what they would like to see tweaked up. You know, the group has also been really wanted to be engaged a lot more. So Lance had helped create something called locker room chats on Wednesdays for people who just need to talk through some of what they're learning, want to hear from people, want to know who each other are. And one thing I might want to do different next year is kind of sort of the reverse. I did not talk to anyone about this yet, but you know, what if we met in person first and then we did some of these workshops and webinar weeks afterward? Because I think there is something special that happens when you meet in person that could carry through the course, where right now I think everyone has so been zoomed out for the last few years that it's kind of an extra thing to like really engage yourself without really knowing who each other are. But so far so good. So I hope that other people feel really compelled to learn more about us and even apply for the program.
Any other parting words or anything either one of you would like to add as in terms of updates on how GCLI is going?
I would just encourage you to follow us on our website. It's www.greencommunitiesleadership.org. Is that correct? I think that's it. And then also we are on Twitter and LinkedIn. So check us out, engage with us. We will be recruiting a new cohort sometime after March when we're done with this one. But yeah, sharing the journey with us. It's been fascinating. You guys provided us the first opportunity to really expose and highlight this. So we really appreciate you sharing our stories as we go along the way. And please join us.